I've spent the night there by myself.
With the body there downstairs.
Do you remember Mexican Jerry? He said he's dead. He had the serious look like, I'm not playing.
They got him to agree to let them tie his hands and his feet. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times he hit him before I got here.
This is Jesus Barraza and his two accomplices, Jerry McGavitt and Marcus Adkins. Together, these men are completely unaware that they were caught on camera after taking the life of 21-year-old Gerardo. And as they turn on each other,
Thomas held the bungee cords around his neck as they kept on beating him.
We went to the building, we went to the basement, they showed me the body.
detectives will soon realize that all three men were controlled by one woman.
He did upset Brittany. She wanted his head.
I didn't know what to do. I couldn't stop it at that time.
A woman who they will ruthlessly investigate using every clue, every lead, and every witness they can, all to find out who exactly was responsible for the murder of Gerardo Jr.
Let me tell you something, Brittany. I cannot tell you that you're not in trouble because you are.
I'm sorry, my stomach's. I didn't know what to do.
You mentioned earlier
was so
that
scared. I could not watch someone being killed.
In September of 2014, electricians in El Paso, Texas were forced to descend into the basement of this abandoned building to ensure the power was turned off. Following this telling sign, they entered the filthy room and came upon what they believed at first to be a mannequin. Very quickly, they realized it was something much more sinister. The burnt body of 21-year-old Gerardo Luna Jr., a loving son, brother, and friend who struggled with schizophrenia and often spent his time with local homeless people for companionship. It was clear that Gerardo, or Mexican Jerry as his friends called him, had been murdered. And very quickly, using surveillance footage from outside the building he was killed in, police were able to locate their suspects.
His friends, Brittany Stewart, Jerry McGavitt, Marcus Adkins, Jesus Barraza, and Thomas McNair.
And if the footage itself, which showed him entering with them but not leaving, wasn't enough, there were these photos that Brittany posted on her Facebook. Selfies taken in the very basement where he was killed. Quickly, police were able to track down everyone involved and question them, but naturally finding the truth in their stories proved to be difficult, because everyone was desperate to save their skin. The following footage was kindly provided to us by the El Paso Police Department.
okay. This is our formal interview with you. Okay. I am Detective Ochoa. This is Detective Sanchez. We are not from here. Okay, we're from El Paso, Texas. We are currently in San Angelo, Texas. We have this here. The code here is 76903. I am meeting with, what is your full name?
Brittany Nicole Beverly.
Beverly? Stewart? Okay, what's your date of birth? Okay. Do you currently have an address?
No.
You are staying today at?
Salvation Army.
We are here in San Angelo because we are investigating an incident that occurred in El Paso a few weeks ago. That case that we're investigating is under El Paso Police Department case number 14-248089. My procedure requires that I tell you that, okay? You're not going to remember that. It's just one of those things. This is related to the unfortunate death of a person. You are a suspect in the case, okay? And at this point, you are under arrest, okay?
Yes.
There was a warrant filed earlier today, and it is for failure to report a felony, okay? I do want to engage in a conversation with you about what took place, but before I do, I need for you to understand what these rights are. I'm going to read them to you, okay? And just let me know if you understand, okay?
As detectives have stated, the murder of Gerardo Luna Jr. took place in El Paso, a 6-hour drive away from San Angelo, where Brittany conveniently relocated soon after the murder occurred, because in her mind, relocated sounds a lot better than fled to. While detectives read Brittany her rights, let's take a look at who she is as a person, at least in her own description on Facebook.
We won't go anywhere else except for tell me what happened.
Okay. When I first met Jerry McGavitt, I just got into town. They took me to an abandoned building, which Mexican Jerry, which they called him. I didn't really know his full name. No.
Okay.
No, sir, I did not.
Okay.
They had problems with him because he was tagging the walls with pinnacles and tagging everything, which they claimed that they had demons in them and there were spirits in the building that died there. Then all of a sudden I didn't know what was going on because I didn't really want to get involved.
Okay.
All of a sudden,
where this building's at?
in El Paso downtown by McDonald's.
Okay, you don't know the address or the street?
No, sorry, I do not. We did have a lot of aged wine, Chardonnay wine, which a lot of them drank. I couldn't drink.
Okay.
I would not drink. Well, the day that it happened, I woke up with him standing over me. It was
Who was?
Mexican Jerry.
Okay.
It was frightening to me because my man was not there at all. They left and I was asleep, which we were staying there for a while. Mexican Jerry kept on hopping the fence and everything. Well, the day that happened, he had a toy gun, which I thought it was real because it looked real. It was actually what do you call it? Not a paintball gun, but a
Pellet gun? BB gun?
BB gun.
Okay.
And I thought it was loaded and everything. I was so scared. I stayed up on top of the stairs. They took him down to the basement. And then Jerry and Jesus started beating him.
What is Jesus' full name?
I don't know his full name, sir. Jerry held him down. Jerry had to let go because Jesus hit Jerry instead of Mexican Jerry.
How did he hit him?
And it busted his eye open with a mallet.
With what?
Rubber mallet.
Okay.
Which I didn't think those can do any harm.
Okay.
But all of a sudden they tied him up, put him to the bed. They grabbed a metal pipe, which I always, because I didn't know the place, I always carried a metal pipe. Well, they all had metal pipes. I did not get involved. I just stepped around the pillars wanting to throw up. I wanted to faint like that. Well, when they started going, all you could hear was him screaming, begging for his life.
Mexican Jerry?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do. I couldn't stop it at that time. I didn't want to get involved. I didn't want to get hurt.
Okay.
I didn't know how to. I didn't know what to do. I had tears in my eyes, like wanting to throw up, wanting to pass out. I did not know what to do.
Okay.
Well, last thing I realized is that they were stabbing him through the neck with broken glass.
This is where is this happening?
The bottom of the basement.
In the basement.
Yes, sir. The pillar right next to
Going
the
down in the
mirror.
stairwell, down the bottom, or
The bottom. The actual bottom.
okay.
Well, there was an old mattress there because a girl actually got there, they say. I don't know if that's entirely true, but if it is, I don't want to get involved in her.
Brittany has woven a pretty compelling story here of a poor, innocent girl who was awakened by inappropriate sexual behavior, then forced to witness a brutal attack and murder that she played absolutely no part in. In Brittany's tale, she's a victim. In reality, she was the mastermind. You would think a mastermind would be smart. But as evidenced by the new explanation for the murder that Brittany's about to serve up, she's far from it.
Well, all of a sudden they said they can feel her spirit and saying that they should go ahead and kill him, and like that frightened me. I didn't know how to respond to that. They said a lot of the spirits are angry at him. Well, they're drunk when they beat the living, excuse my language, shit out of him. And then all of a sudden they started stabbing him, beating him in the head with the metal pipe. I could not stop it. I did not want to get hurt.
Now this is transferred over onto the mattress?
It was already on the mattress. They tied him up and started choking him with... I'm sorry, my stomach's...
Take your time.
I didn't know what to do. But I didn't. I did care. I cared a lot about Jerry, Mexican Jerry. He did some stuff that I don't approve of, but he was still like a friend. He still cared for everyone. I didn't know what to do. I just tagged along. I didn't know what was really going to happen. They said that the spirits told him to kill him. Well, when they got down there, they started, like I was saying, they started choking him with the bands that were already down there.
How were they choking?
They tied him against they were holding him. Jerry was holding what do you call it? They're like hikers. Hiker uses them. But they're ropes with hooks on the ends.
Okay, like bungee cords?
I don't know if they're called that or
They're
just like this.
hooks on them?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he started holding that,
How were they doing that?
like just
explain
with
it.
his hands around his neck and around the pole,
Which pole?
the mirror.
Okay.
What do you want to call it?
The pillar with mirrors on it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I could not stand there. I could not.
What was he doing? What do you mean, like around the pillar?
He was
Right
around the
little more?
pillar, just choking him, and they already gassed his neck, so his blood was just going everywhere.
Okay.
I could not watch. I could not do anything. I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
When they started doing that, he started hyperventilating, like he couldn't breathe. Well, they started beating his chest in. Well, that night, we all left. Trust me, I wanted to go. I didn't know how to go to the cops and tell them, well, my friend just killed someone. My friend just killed a best friend. I didn't know how to do that because all they're saying is that, oh yeah, we know how to kill people and do that. That was my first ever seeing someone die like that.
How do we get what Mexican Jerry's problem was?
They said that the spirits were getting mad at him because he was starting tagging the place with the writing on the wall, the pentagram on the floor.
Who was saying all this?
Thomas, everyone in the group
So, obviously, this group.
said that they had a problem with him.
Okay.
I didn't have a problem with him. Well, I didn't approve of me waking up with him jacking off right in front of me, like standing right over me. I did not approve of that, but he does what he does in his own ways, like I do mine.
Who's with you when he?
No, I was asleep. When they left, I was half asleep. I still knew they left. When I woke up, Jerry was standing there. I did not hear Jerry come in or anything because usually he would jump the fence or come around back.
Did Jerry leave with the group initially, or was Jerry part of the group? Mexican
Mexican Jerry was part of the group.
when they left.
When they left, no. But he used to be part of the group when I got there.
Okay. All right. So he's doing this to you, right up over you.
Right up over me. I didn't tell anyone. Like, I couldn't. He does what he does in his own ways. No one can get mad at him what he does. But it kind of upset me because that's my personal boundary.
Aside from us, who else have you told about?
About
No one knew.
except Marcus. Marcus knew about it.
So But that day when this all takes place, when he's killed, they didn't know. So that's not the reason why.
No, they said the reason why is because his spirits were telling them to.
And you said Marcus was the one having this type of conversation.
Marcus?
I'm sorry. Thomas.
Thomas,
Not Marcus.
Thomas, Jerry, and Jesus said they had demons in them. And they said that people died at the place. They were murdered. Well, I don't know if it's entirely true, but they said their spirits are there now. If you can feel it, genetic energy, apparently their spirits are. It was hot in December. It was hot. It was very hot.
Brittany's explanation for the murders, that the boys, except for Marcus, killed Jerry because the spirits told them to, may have worked during the satanic panic back in the day. But it ain't working with these investigators, because there were 3 other people in the basement at the time of the murder, and not a single one of them except for Brittany makes any mention of believing in demons, spirits, or the devil. Jesus, who was also present, has a very different explanation for why and how this happened, one that Brittany isn't going to like.
He did upset Brittany, and actually Brittany also once he would say out loud that she wanted his head. Also, could be like there's a lot of things that going on with that little group. But supposedly at the beginning, Brittany was dating Steven. Then she broke up with him. So it was the first day. Then she started going out with Crazy Jerry. A couple of days later, she broke up with Crazy Jerry and started going out with Marcus. So there's like an argument between all 3 of them.
So all those 3 have had Brittany?
Yeah.
Okay.
Brittany and Jerry Luna started arguing. Jerry would call her. By this time, Crazy Jerry and Brittany were dating. And Crazy Jerry got real mad, pissed off that he called Brittany. And he would grab him and he would just run straight in deeper in. And said Thomas McNair would grab one of the posts and would hit him on the ribs. But prior to that, I think a week before that, Jerry Luna and Crazy Jerry were having a confrontation, which resulted with stabbing.
It's always a love triangle, isn't it? Or in this case, a love rhombus. But let's break down the sides of it, shall we? Because Jesus here isn't giving the full story. Now, Brittany was dating a man in the group named Steven. She dumped him, then began dating Crazy Jerry, whose real name is Jerry McGavitt. About a week before Jerry Luna was killed, he allegedly confessed that he was interested in Brittany. Brittany told this to her boyfriend at the time, who stabbed Jerry Luna for being interested in his girl. His girl, who immediately began dating another member of the group, Marcus, a week after that, when Jerry Luna was killed after she urged her crew of exes to have his head. That doesn't exactly match up with Brittany's story that the men were convinced there was a spirit and she had no involvement in the murder, does it?
And her partner at the time, Jerry McGavitt, has yet another story that doesn't align with hers.
We went to Dollar Plus, and this other guy by the name of Jerry, I don't know his last name, he came in from the roadside, and Thomas and Jesus didn't like him from the beginning. They've never liked him. They've always had problems, as what they've told me. And so what happened was they ended up getting into fighting and everything, and we went down to the basement where Jesus wanted me to hold on to Jerry for him as he hit him with the rubber mallet, which I ended up getting hit with the rubber mallet at the same time, which then I released Jerry and went upstairs and found one of my shirts to stop the bleeding. Mm-hmm. And they went beating him for several hours with metal poles. Trying to think of what to call it. Yeah. The metal pipes. And they went from one side of the room to the other, hitting them in the stomach with the metal pipes. And then they got him to, how can I say it? They got him to agree to let them tie his hands and his feet. Okay. Bound his hands and feet. I tied his hands and feet for Jesus. Thomas held the bungee cords around his neck. as they kept on beating him. And I went upstairs as my girlfriend followed me, waiting on them. And then we left and went and sat in front of the tap. As we were sitting in front of the tap, Thomas, Jesus, and Marcus showed up at the time, went back to the building to burn the body.
Brittany, however, paints Jerry's involvement in burning the body as a bit more involved than he has.
When you left the building,
We left the building, we went to the tap.
what's the tap?
It's a bar. Well, we went to the tap. Thomas wanted to go burn the body. Thomas and Marcus went over there. Marcus didn't know anything about it until Jerry McGavitt said something. Well, Marcus was interested and wanted to go over there. So they both started to burn the body, which I wasn't there for. I was still at the tap. Well, when we went back the next day, I smelled it. It smelled like... It didn't smell like what they're saying it smelled like. It didn't smell like burnt barbecue. It actually smelled like burnt flesh. And I didn't know why they did it. I know why they're saying they did it. But when they said that when they proved that they can kill people, I don't know what to
What do
do.
you mean by burnt flesh? Have you smelled burnt flesh before?
I smelled it because I burnt my own flesh. I used to. My scars.
Where?
I used to. Which I don't do that anymore.
Now, let's go back a little bit. I know that your group of people, these people, were staying there. It was evident. I've seen pictures of it. I've never been inside. It looked like it is an abandoned building, and it has been abandoned for quite some time. You
They
agree?
said it's been abandoned for 2 years.
Okay. So it looked like it was set up to where people were staying there.
We were staying there.
Okay, good. What led to them starting this?
They said that the spirits were getting mad. That they were not finishing their job to kill him.
Okay.
Well, they led him down into the basement. I didn't know what to do but follow because I didn't know what was going to happen.
Explain leg.
Well, they said for him to go in the basement, which he did, but he had the gun in his hand, pointed at us. I was just like, oh gosh, I'm going to die. That was my direct thought through my head. Oh my gosh, I'm going to die.
You knew it was a BB gun.
No, I didn't know it was BB gun until they broke it. They took it from him and broke it when we were at the bottom of the stairs.
All right. Okay. The picture that I've seen of this place, from let's call it, there's a basement, and then there's a
Top,
the first floor,
yes,
and then
and then there's top floor.
Top floor. Okay. Let's call it the floor level. In other words, the street level floor. That's where this all starts.
That's
right?
where, no, yes, it started there, then it led down to the basement.
Okay.
They led him down to the basement. I didn't know what was going to go on.
Okay, but it started in the floor level when they said, let's go downstairs.
Yes.
Okay, but where did the actual
Meeting
/fight
started, it
start?
started in the basement.
In the actual basement.
In the actual
Are
basement.
you sure it didn't start a little bit before?
No.
Like maybe in the stairs?
He ran up the stairs, yes. I just moved out of the way. I was so terrified. I moved out of the way.
He mean Mexican Jerry.
Yes, Mexican Jerry, when he was already gushing blood downstairs.
He goes up the stairs and what did you do? They catch up to him or what?
Yes, they dragged him back down to the stairs. I didn't know what to do.
You
I
mentioned earlier
was so
that
scared.
Jesus at one point
Was hitting him with a mallet. Yes, that was the beginning of the whole thing.
and then he strikes
He struck Jerry. Jerry,
not Mexican Jerry.
no.
Jerry McGavitt.
Jerry McGavitt. That's why he has a scar over the side,
What was Jerry McGavitt doing?
holding him down.
Okay.
Like in a, I don't know if you call it military, with his arm around his neck.
And what is Thomas doing?
Thomas is just sitting there laughing. I was so scared. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to run upstairs and leave.
Okay.
but it's my fault for not.
You said that eventually they led him to.
Eventually, they led him to the mattress, yes. That's after they drug him downstairs again
And you said
from the stairs.
they tied him up.
They tied him
Who
up.
tied who up?
Thomas tied him up.
How?
He bound his arms before they laid him on the mattress,
Front or the back of
the
the?
back.
Okay. And anything else was tied up?
His legs. They tied his legs up, but then they untied him to use the rope for his neck. And sorry, I want to throw up.
Who was using the rope on his neck?
Jerry was holding the rope. Jerry McGavitt.
Okay. There is a pillar, a pillar that has
pillar,
glass
yes.
over it, right?
Yes.
And the mattress is right there next to it,
His head was actually leaning up towards the mirror.
like the back of his head.
Yes.
Okay. And basing on what you're saying, Jerry,
Was holding his neck from the back of the
so he's on the opposite side of the pillar.
Yes, he was on the opposite side of the pillar,
Okay.
holding the rope.
Where's Thomas and where's his?
Thomas was over top of him, still stabbing him. Jesus was beating him with a pipe.
What is Thomas stabbing him with and where?
A glass, broken piece of glass.
Where?
In the neck.
Where did you get this glass from?
It was already broken on the floor.
When
When I first came there, that glass wasn't broken at all. I don't know who broke the glass.
is it like from a?
It's
Is it
from
a-
one of the pillars.
Okay, so it's not a mirror.
It's part of the mirror.
It's a mirror.
Okay, right.
I still call it glass.
Yeah.
He's gushing blood.
He's gushing blood out of his throat. I could not watch. I could not, so I turned around. I didn't know what to do. I could not move. When I turned around, all I could hear was the gushing of the blood in his screams. I could not move. I was so terrified. I didn't know what to do.
Most rational people would do something, anything to stop the horrific crime taking place in front of them. Not only was Gerardo Luna being tortured, but his murderers were doing it directly in front of a mirror. When Gerardo's family went to the basement to see where their loved one took his final breaths, that's the aspect of the crime that affected them the most. A crime that could have been stopped had any of the 5 people present done a single thing to stop it.
Let me ask you one more question. What else did they put around him? His head, his face?
When they
His eyes,
when they
anything?
burned him, they put a red blanket on him.
Okay, back up a little bit before that.
They tied, the thing in his mouth.
Okay. What did they do to him?
They just stuffed it in his mouth when he started to scream.
What's that?
It was a handkerchief. I don't know whose handkerchief it was.
Did they just stuff it in there? Did they
They
tie it
just
around his mouth?
they
What?
just stuffed it in there for all I could see.
Okay, then.
Where I was turned around. I turned around. I could not see anything else. I could not bear.
So they did that
see it.
because he was screaming.
He was screaming so loud. Well, if you're going to kill someone, why do it? It's no point in doing it. Literally, it's no point. All it's going to do is end you up in jail and have the family just not being able to close their memories. I cannot bear to see or look at them. I cannot bear even to look at the people that did. So when we all left, they said, why wouldn't I look at them? There's a reason why I wouldn't look at them. I cannot bear to see it. How angry they were and how drunk they were.
So after you're done, or after they're done, beating, strangling him,
They covered him up.
They cover him up. And then after all of that takes place,
We all left.
we all go to a bar.
We all go to the tap.
Okay.
I sat down because I didn't know what to do. I could not. I wanted to think. I wanted to throw up. I did not know what to do. I wanted to run. I couldn't.
This entire time, Marcus is not present.
Marcus was not present, no.
Are
When
we
we got to the tap, Marcus showed up. Well, Jerry McGavitt told him about Mexican Jerry, what they did to him. Marcus got excited. I don't know why he got excited, but he got excited.
What's exciting? Explain
Like
to me.
happy, like a big grin on his face. He wanted to go see the body. Thomas was going to go back and burn the body and grab our stuff. Well, what they failed to do was grab mine. My stuff apparently was there. Well, they grabbed their stuff and everything. They grabbed one thing of mine was my blanket. So they grabbed their stuff and everything, and I thought I smelled already burning stuff, but that was coming from next door because they were cleaning the floors. Well, when they said they burnt the body, we went back. I did not go downstairs. I could not. I don't know if I could handle that. Well, I couldn't even handle smelling it.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let's go back a little bit.
Yes, sir.
You're all at the bar, and then it is decided that it's time to burn the body.
Yes.
Are you sure you did not go back?
No, I didn't go back.
Are you sure?
I went back that morning, yes.
Whose idea was it?
Thomas.
Okay.
What did he say? How did he say it?
Thomas said, well, the cops are going to be there. We should go ahead and burn the whole building down. Well, that's not fair to the owner. If the owner ever was the owner, we saw the owner, yes. But I was with Mexican Jerry when we saw the owner. But they said that, yes.
Brittany claims to have been utterly crushed by the murder, so horrified that she couldn't stand it. Yet once again, Jesus paints a very different story of Brittany's reaction.
Did they high-five each other, or did, you know what I'm saying? Did they show any kind of celebration?
Well, Brittany was just basically happy about it.
How?
Like, she would just start laughing and mentioning his name, and finally, it's done.
Though, Brittany continues to claim that she was crying, and everyone else couldn't understand why.
Let's go back to the part where Mexican Jerry is getting stabbed.
Yes.
Okay. You described that it's with like a glass, a piece of
It's
glass.
with glass in his neck.
You understand that we obviously may have found pieces of glass in that area.
Yes.
Maybe with blood, maybe without blood. And you understand that fingerprints.
Yes, my fingerprints are on some of the glass.
Why?
Because I that day before it ever happened, I was depressed. I've been depressed. I get depressed. I have bipolar ADHD and ADD. I get to those moods where I just want to cut. I picked up a piece of glass, wanting to. Then I thought it through and decided not to. So I set the glass down.
Earlier you mentioned that the glass was not there.
The glass is already broken, yes.
Yeah, but you said earlier that the glass was not there.
You didn't know who broke it.
I don't know who broke it.
But you said the glass was not there.
It was not broken, no.
When all of this is taking place.
No, it was broken. But
Okay, so now it was.
2 days before, it was not broken.
But now it is.
Yes.
Okay.
It was broken a day after. I don't know who broke it. It was not me. I know that. We were trying to get in a safe. All I knew, we were trying to get in a safe that was down there.
Is it possible that you were trying to get in the safe because maybe you thought of putting the body there?
No, I never thought of that.
How about someone else?
Thomas thought of it, yes.
Yes.
But Thomas thought there was another body in there or there was cash.
So when you say we were trying to open the safe, that means you were physically involved in trying to.
I was not physically involved. I was sitting there, yes.
Does the safe have your fingerprints on it?
The safe might.
Why would it?
I would be touching it.
Why?
There's a bathroom down there. We go down there and use the bathroom. Sometimes the lights are out.
So to go to the bathroom, you have to touch the
Feel
safe.
stuff when the lights are out.
Is the safe in the path toward the bathroom?
Yes.
It's in the direct path of the bathroom?
Yes. It was when
It's
I
not
went
around the
down.
door or anything like that?
When you go in, okay, the basement is right here. The pool basement. There's a direct way going to the bathroom. There's a safe right here. Going up the stairs. Then you go to the bathroom, right there in the hallway.
So you're actually using a bathroom at a vacant building?
Yes.
Does it have running water?
No.
So, I mean,
It had electricity. I didn't know. They told me it had electricity and turned on the switches and everything.
so if you're going to use that excuse for your fingerprints being on that safe, it's going to be a mere touching, like to maybe protect yourself from not falling. Okay,
or not bumping into anything.
There's no reason when we process that safe for your fingerprints to be
underneath it.
Different spots.
That's not possible.
Just when you're passing by, feeling, make sure you don't bump into things.
I was just bumping into things.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
If my fingerprints were anywhere else around it, then I don't know how that happened. I know they got the screws out, and I handed the screws back to them because they were prying the doors open.
Let me ask you this. Would there be a reason for your fingerprints or someone else's fingerprints to be on the same piece of glass?
Being on the same piece of glass?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Like maybe you handing it over to somebody?
I don't remember handing any glass over to
You don't remember? Is it possible?
It is not possible because I would not hand someone over.
So if you don't remember, how is it not possible?
Do what?
If you don't remember, how is it not possible?
It's not possible, not unless they picked up the same glass. Yes, I touched many of glass down there. Because I went down there when they told me to go see the mattress. They said the girl went insane, went down there and she down there. Yes, I've been down there a lot. I've been touching the glass everywhere. I don't know how that's possible for someone to get the same piece of glass or me to hand a piece of glass to kill someone. I can't do that.
As police have already deduced, Brittany's fingerprints are on several shards of glass that were used to kill Gerardo. Because according to Thomas McNair, who delivered the finishing blow to Gerardo, it was Brittany who was calling all the shots.
So he's tied up at some point up against the pillar. Is that still the truth? That he was tied up against the pillar? Is he still alive?
At
that point, he's still alive. Okay. And then you're referencing something that you had to.
I just pretty much have no choice to stick him in the throat.
At one point, Thomas takes some broken glass.
Yes.
You said something about Brittany that she brought.
She picked up a piece of glass and gave it to Thomas. And she grabbed another piece of glass, trying to give it to me.
Like glass from what?
From a broken mirror.
Okay. Like the mirrors that are on the pillars?
Yes.
Okay, so
she tries to give me one. I grab it and just stay standing there, grabbing the piece of glass on putting pressure on it. And I just left it on the counter, close to the middle part.
Is that glass? Does it have blood on it?
No, I don't remember. She did.
You don't remember, or?
Because it was sharp and it was pointy, but it was. I don't remember because I was putting too much pressure.
But you didn't cut yourself, right?
Not that I know of.
So if there's blood on it, it could be Jerry Luna's blood.
Or no, because she gave me a clean piece of glass.
Brittany, however, is still in denial, despite the fact that two other people present, including her boyfriend at the time of the murder, have stated loud and clear that she was handing over shards of glass and egging them on. And unfortunately for her, police aren't falling for her tears.
Let's talk about, you mentioned earlier that Jerry, Mexican Jerry,
yes,
is a friend of yours.
When I got there, I was going through a tough time.
So, he's someone that you knew?
He's someone that comforted me.
Okay. That you cared about?
I did care about him, yes. And I could not, I don't know if I didn't know how to go to the cops. I didn't know how to run in that building while they were killing them. I didn't know what to do.
Let me back up just a little bit. You just finished saying you would not hand a piece of glass to someone to kill someone. I never said that.
I would never.
But we never asked you that.
But you all said the same glass was. My fingerprints were on it.
The same glass as what?
Thomas's. That's not mine.
But we didn't say that.
How to do that?
We didn't say that. The same glass.
I'm sorry if I interpreted that.
Okay. We just asked you if someone else's fingerprints would be on the same glass that yours would be. We didn't say anything about Thomas, and we didn't say anything about you handing the glass to somebody to kill someone. We didn't say that. Why would you say that?
Because I have the feeling that you're interpreting it.
No, we're just asking you very
Just asking questions.
Very general.
I'm sorry that I'm a little tired.
Okay. Well, here's a good thing. Okay, I'll call you Britt.
Yes, that is my name.
I can call you by your last name. I don't want to disrespect you, okay? Because the problem that we have is that you need to understand something. The reason why you have not been able to communicate with Marcus is because he's under arrest, okay? He's been locked up. We've also been able.
What is someone gonna tell?
We've also been able to talk to all the other people involved, okay? And they've all been able to provide us with specific details as to what took place, okay? First of all, I appreciate you talking to us.
Yes, sir.
We've traveled a long ways to come out here, and we just need answers to what we're looking into. But we don't need for you to self-serve yourself by saying that you were just strictly a witness, because I can tell you that I personally don't believe that, okay? You may not have physically attacked a person, but just simply by standing there as a casual observer when there's a cold-blooded murder happening in front of you and not doing anything day 1, day 2, day 3, and I can go on and on because this happened 3 weeks ago, right? Almost 4 weeks now. And not once have you reached out. You were at the Salvation Army?
Yes.
There's plenty of people there that could have helped you. Plenty of people there that you could have solicited help from. But not once did you say that. You've been crossing your words here a little bit here and there, kind of jumping all over the place, basically just covering yourself. Let me tell you something, Brittany. I cannot tell you that you're not in trouble because you are.
I know I am in trouble because I was there.
Someone died. Someone was killed in a very brutal fashion, okay? These other people that we're talking to, that we've talked to, have told us about what took place, have told us that you weren't necessarily just a sudden witness to this one.
That I was part of it? I was not part of it at all.
Remember what I told you. A person that witnesses something is a person that comes across something that is unexpected. A person that is working and then suddenly something happens in front of them. That's what we consider, to a certain extent, a witness. But when you're present,
you're not a witness.
And things are happening in front of you.
I should have ran out of the building.
I don't know what you should have done, but I know that you did not run out of the building. And the reason why we bring up the glass and some of the other things that we've been talking to you about is because some of these other people have mentioned things that you did.
That I did?
Yes, that you did. When you were present and you were physically there. Now, I could easily say someone mentioned that you handed glass over, and of course you're going to deny it. Because that would implicate you further.
Yes, it does.
But if you care for Mexican Jerry...
I did care about Mexican Jerry. I still do care about Mexican Jerry.
And you know that you guys screwed up, today is the day to come clean and say, look, it was all a big mistake. It was a mess up.
I did. I should have never went to El Paso. I should have never gotten involved.
That's beyond it. You were there. You can't change that.
I know I can't.
Let's just make what happened that night right. Okay? That's all we want from Mexican Jerry. Make it right.
How am I going to make it right if I can't bring it back?
No, for yourself. Make it right for yourself. by declining to say a couple of things that you haven't said today, you're not making it right.
If I
Make it right for
handed,
yourself so that you won't have this on your mind. Because if you don't, it's going to be in your mind for a long time.
I know it's been on my mind
And
since
that's why
I
we're here.
left.
That's why we're here, to help you get rid of all those thoughts. To tell us. There's a couple of things you're not saying. And you have to say it because it's going to be on your mind forever.
There's a lot of going on in my mind.
Well, we just want to know about that day. If you want to talk about other stuff, we can talk about that afterwards. But right now, in this interview, we just want to know about what happened to Mexican Jerry that day, and what you took part in, what you haven't said yet. I promise you it'll make you feel better.
If I had anything to do with killing him, I would have directly said it. I would directly said, yeah, I stabbed him. No, I never did. I never physically touched him because I couldn't. I couldn't bear to see it. I couldn't bear to know that he was going to die. That he was dying right in front of me.
What's not good is that you were able to bear not saying anything about it.
What was I supposed to do?
A month.
They killed a person in front of me.
I'm sure in the last 4 weeks you've seen a policeman or two somewhere.
Yeah, I've seen policemen.
I know you know how to use 911. You know how to use the internet.
Yes, I know how to do that. But when someone kills someone right in front of me, how am I not supposed to be afraid?
I'm not saying you're not.
How am I not supposed to do anything?
You're afraid of what? The reality of what?
No.
What's expected? What's in front of you?
I know what's in front of me. I know what's in front of me. But when someone I care about, that I need to marry, that I want to marry, and that I'm having a baby with, kill someone in front of me, I can't deal with that. I'm sorry.
Brittany is pregnant, allegedly with Jerry McGavitt's baby. However, she must not have been too desperate to marry him and raise the baby with him, because according to her Facebook, she had already moved on to Marcus and was engaged to him, though their relationship was clearly complicated.
And Marcus's involvement in the crime doesn't help matters any.
All I know is, on a Saturday, I was hanging out with my friends, the ones I mentioned to you beforehand.
Okay. Earlier, we talked a little bit about, let's see here, you spoke of, what people did you, let's talk about those people.
It was Thomas, Brittany, Jerry, and Jesus. Or if you want me to,
Let's talk about the people that were there that day that we're going to talk about.
Okay. The two that was around me at the time, it was Thomas and Jesus.
Okay.
And Thomas just comes up to me, looks at me, and goes, do you remember Mexican Jerry? I said, yes. He said, he's dead. And I just gave him a look like, meaning, I thought he was, playing, but I thought he was literally joking, but, he had the serious look like, I'm not playing. Because, you know how some people are, they joke around, but to make it seem authentic, they throw on the serious face. So I was like, okay. I was like, where's he at? And they said, he's at the spot in the basement. Well, that's what they referred to the building as, the spot.
The spot?
The spot. And I looked at Thomas and I told Thomas, I was like, look, just so I thought he wasn't playing, I was like, all right, show me the body.
Okay.
We went to the building, we went to the basement, they showed me the body.
Describe it.
They had him, he was laid down on a mattress. They had his legs bound, his arms his arms and legs tied up. They had him gagged. And then Thomas looked at me and said, the only thing we got left to do is to burn the body. I wasn't there for the initial murder, but I was there, as I said, when they burnt the body. And that's really, the only thing I'm able to give you, because I wasn't there for the initial murder. But Thomas did tell me one night, I believe it was last Wednesday. You know, he told me, he's like, how do you say it? He goes, how do you tell me? I'm trying to think of how he worded it. But I'm trying to remember how he worded it, but I might not get it word for word. I believe he said, he's like, you know, when I killed Jerry, he's like, the way I killed him, because I envisioned it more brutaler. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, there he goes. All I did was just go up, stick him in the neck. He was like, you know, he goes, I was going to sit there and just keep going. But as I said, that's not exactly word for word or whatever, how he said it, or it could be, I really can't remember. But I told him, I was like, you know what? I was like, what you did is done. I was like, there's no going back.
Okay. So you're paraphrasing.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, excuse me. After that, someone went upstairs, grabbed the red blanket, threw on him. They grabbed apparently someone had got the lighter fluid at the same time, or after that, then that's when they just doused it in the lighter fluid, which apparently there wasn't a lot left. And that's when they just set the body ablaze.
Was Mexican Jerry already dead?
Yes.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Was there any screaming, any moving?
No.
When the blood was, or
No.
when they,
Because the minute they took me and showed me the body, I'm not gonna lie, I did get a little close to the body, and I looked square in his eyes. And you can look, when you look in somebody's eyes, you can tell when they're dead. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, damn, he is dead. You could just tell in his eyes he was lifeless.
So when Thomas, you say, lit the body, and I'm assuming that the mattress and the sheet and everything lit up,
Yeah.
right? What color was the container that had this? Was it
The life fluid?
Yes.
It was a white bottle. It was just like a regular bottle of lighter fluid.
Like the barbecue stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know where they got this?
I really don't.
All right. And I've not been in this building. I've been outside. So
Okay.
when I've been told and it's been described to me, okay, I know that's different stories, and then there is a basement. When the fire is going, where do you go?
As soon as they lit the body, me, Thomas, and Jesus ran upstairs. And we just looked at, and the rest of them were upstairs.
Who's the rest of them?
I believe it was Jerry and Brittany. And we just looked at him and we're like, we gotta go. Or actually, I didn't say that. I can't remember if it was Thomas or who it was, but I do remember somebody said, okay, well, we need to go here. Because, apparently they thought when they torched the body, the whole building went up. But it didn't.
It didn't go up because the century-old building is almost entirely made of adobe and cement, which catches fire about as well as water does. And even if it did, and the evidence of their crimes was destroyed, the video catching them would remain, and they would turn on each other all the same.
If you want to start off on the right foot while being a good parent, then
How am I going to be a good parent if I was a witness there and I'm going to automatically go to jail over it?
Well, what I'm asking you is just to be a good parent or a good future parent. There's a couple of things you may have not said, and that's what we're looking for. That's all.
Yes, I've been down there. Yes, I was there when he got killed. I couldn't bear it. And yes, they told me to hold the rubber, the thing around his neck, but I couldn't. I couldn't do that.
They said?
They told me to hand him a glass.
Okay.
I handed him the glass. I didn't know what they were going to do with it.
What kind of glass was this?
The mirror.
And who was it that told you to get the glass?
Thomas.
Okay.
I went by him the mirror. I couldn't stand watching it.
Was he specific what he was going to do with the glass?
No.
Did you have an idea?
No. I didn't know what he was going to do. I thought he was going to cut the ropes.
You assumed that he was going to cut the rope?
I thought he was going to cut the ropes. He had a sad face. I went behind the mirror. I couldn't bear to watch it. I wanted to faint. I wanted to throw up. I could not watch someone being killed. That helped me.
Finally, police have confirmation that Brittany did at least touch the murder weapon. In her version of events, of course, she was forced to by Thomas, who, like the rest of the group, believed in not just demons, but vampires.
Can I ask you about the group itself? There's a certain religion, a certain something that they follow.
They said they connect with demons from Satan. I'm a Wiccan. Yes, I don't connect to Satan.
You're a Wiccan?
I'm a Wiccan.
They're like a witch? Or
no, some of them, people say they're witches, some people say they're good. I study the mother of the plants, the world, the environment.
Okay.
Mother Nature.
Okay. Is there a name for the type of...
No.
You've not heard them talk about a certain group?
All I've heard is a Satanist. I don't know what a Satanist is. All I know is that they said they have demons. Jerry McGavitt said he had Hammer. He called his demon Hammer.
Tell me about Dracula. Who's Dracula?
Thomas is obsessed with Dracula. Dracula, as you know it, Van Helsing, Dracula. The Dracula grave in, what do you call it? The castle? In Transylvania. He's been up there several times. He was obsessed with Dracula. Thomas. Yes. Thomas said he's been there. He's been around for so many centuries. He's been around for 30 centuries. Well, that kind of got me suspicious. But it's what they do, so I didn't get into it.
Okay. As far as Dracula, are you connected to Dracula?
No.
No bloodline or anything like that? Anything that you...
I would not be directed to Dracula if I knew.
Okay, you've never alleged that you have a tree, root, bloodline?
I don't know. They say Dracula is a vampire. That he ate humans. Human blood.
Okay.
Which is usually called a vampire.
And you believe in all that stuff?
I believe in ghosts. That's all I believe in. I believe there are spirits, yes.
Let me ask you this. The reason why this is all being presented to you is obviously it's come up.
Yes, I know it's came up. Yes, they talked about it. Yes, I talked about it. I tried to get them on a different page.
Was that talked about during this deal?
No.
Was it ever celebrated?
Was it ever celebrated? They celebrated by drinking, yes. I never
celebrated what?
Could do that.
They celebrated the murder?
Yeah.
It's obvious.
I can't drink, so I wouldn't know.
Had you been able to drink, would you have consumed an alcoholic beverage?
No.
Okay.
Yes, I've drank that vodka, the peach vodka up there. But that's way before I started throwing up.
Okay. Well, it's obvious to any casual observer to know that when you're at a crime scene, such as a murder scene, and then soon after, within seconds, a minute, or whatever it takes, you go to the bar, and you...
Yes, we went to the bar. I've only drank water over there.
Okay, all right.
That's all you're allowed to drink.
What we're asking is, based on what we talked about, the satanic connection, the Dracula, was there anything that was said over maybe the body during the course of the murder?
Thomas said he would like to drain him after he was dead.
Okay.
And I said no, because that's just weird and unusual.
Were you curious?
No. I would never be curious. I would rather die than drink human blood.
Did anyone attempt to do this?
No. As far as I know, no. When Thomas did have his blood on his hands, he started licking it. It just creeped me out. I'm sorry, but y'all said be blunt. I'm being blunt. It's just gross.
Was there ever a moment where maybe Thomas, similar to the glass, invite you to come lick the blood?
He said to, yes. I would never do it.
However, what Thomas tells police, which is by far the most accurate when compared to everyone else's story, paints a completely different picture. One where it's not the group that believes in demons, vampires, and the devil.
Was she acting like a queen bee? Or what the hell's going
she was
on
acting
with
like
this?
she was acting like she was royalty.
Okay, how explain that?
She acted like she was some royalty from some vampire clan or something.
That's what she's claiming to me?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that something that you believed?
No.
Or you just
don't believe it at all.
Screw it, I'm gonna go along with this?
I didn't believe it at all. It's just like, I'm gonna just go with it. It'd be easier than dealing with the drama that comes with trying to argue against her.
In everyone's version of events that they tell police, Brittany is the driving force and the main source of conflict within the group. Yet she still can't take accountability.
Do you have anything to add?
Do I have anything to add?
Would you like to say?
Yes, I would. Even though I was there, I am sorry that I was there. I apologize that I couldn't do anything.
Brittany deserves an award for not only the worst acting, but for the worst non-apology as well. To this day, she has still not taken full accountability for her role in the murder of Gerardo Luna Jr. In fact, after this interrogation, she went on frivolously posting on Facebook, with her main concern being about her boyfriend being in jail. Apparently, she didn't realize that's exactly where she was going. Thomas McNair, who admitted to stabbing Gerardo Luna in the neck, was found guilty, and as a result, sentenced to 99 years in prison. Jerry McGavitt, or Crazy Jerry, was convicted of murder, earning himself 60 years behind bars. Jesus Barraza, who was fairly forthcoming with police, was found guilty of 1 count of murder, earning 40 years behind bars. Marcus Adkins, Brittany's fiancé at the time of this interrogation, was sentenced to 5 years for tampering with evidence. And finally, Brittany, the poor victim turned mastermind, ultimately took a plea deal, resulting in a conviction on 1 count of murder, earning herself 25 years in prison. Thank you for watching today's video. Whether you're new here or have been with us for a while, check out one of the craziest cases I've ever covered right here, or one of my newest uploads right here.